Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, we journey not through the annals of power, nor through the thunder of conquest. We walk instead through a quieter world, one shaped not by kings, but by calloused fingers and sun-warmed clay. Let your breath slow, like the rhythm of the river. Let your thoughts settle, like dust on an old trail. You are going to a Nok village, an ancient settlement nestled in the folds of time, in what is now central Nigeria. The year is unknowable, long before dates were scratched into stone. But the earth remembers. Here, life is not measured by clocks, but by the tilt of the sun, the call of birds, the turning of seasons. This is not a tale of urgency or noise. It is a tapestry woven from quiet moments, a cradle of calm, where stillness breathes and time softens. If you've come seeking rest, a gentle escape to ease your thoughts before sleep, you are exactly where you need to be. If this soothing journey brings you peace, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Together, we'll continue crafting quiet nights and calm beginnings, night after night. Now, allow yourself to settle. Let your breath deepen. Let your thoughts drift like mist over morning fields. Close your eyes, if you wish, or let them rest softly on the dark screen before you. And now, let us begin. Chapter 1: The Village Wakes. The first light of dawn rests gently on the roofs of the Nok village. It spills over the rounded huts, dappling their clay walls with golden warmth. The thatch glistens with dew. The red earth exhales the coolness of night. For a moment, all is still. A chicken stirs beneath a low bench. A child murmurs in sleep, then curls deeper into their mother's arms. A woman steps from her doorway. Her feet are bare, her wrap cloth simple and frayed at the hem. She carries a calabash bowl to the water vessel near the compound's edge. She moves slowly. There is no rush. Around her, the village begins to breathe. From one doorway, smoke begins to curl. From another, the rhythmic knock of a wooden pestle begins, soft, steady thumps echoing across the clearing. Grain being pounded for breakfast porridge. The scent of wood smoke and millet begins to mingle with the dawn air. A small boy stumbles out into the light, rubbing his eyes. He grins when he sees the goats tethered at the edge of the fence. They bleat at him in recognition. A dog stretches and trots past, tail swaying lazily. The huts form a loose circle, their curved forms like sleeping animals curled around a shared center. In the middle of the village, a communal hearth still smolders from the night. Embers blink red beneath ashes. A woman stoops to fan it gently. From above, in the canopy of the trees at the village's edge, birds call to one another in shrill harmony. Beyond the village, the world begins to stir as well. The grasses shimmer with morning light. The trees, baobab, acacia, and shea, cast long shadows. A river runs not far away, its waters dark and slow this time of year. The air is still cool, not yet touched by the midday heat. It is the hour of beginnings. In one compound, a girl of perhaps 12 steps out carrying a small clay pot. She is headed to the stream. The path is familiar, worn by generations of feet. Her gourd vessel rests easily on her hip. She pauses beneath a tree to pick a leaf and chew its fibrous stem, a morning habit, almost unconscious. As she disappears behind the trees, another figure appears, older, wrapped in indigo-dyed cloth. She walks with a slight limp but with purpose. Her name is Dardia. She is the village's most skilled potter. Today, like all days, her hands will return to the clay. But not just yet. First, the morning must be greeted properly. She lifts her face to the sun, now just above the trees, and whispers a few words only she understands. The Nok village is awake. Not with noise, nor chaos, but with quiet movement, shared rhythm. The sun continues to rise. And the day begins. Chapter 2: Clay in the Hands. At the edge of the village, where the trees begin to thin and the air smells faintly of river mud, lies the potter's place. It is not a formal space, not marked by fence or sign. But it is known. The ground there is smoother, pressed flat by years of kneeling feet. Under a wide shade tree, whose shade cools the earth even at midday, Dardia has shaped thousands of vessels. This morning, she arrives with a gourd of water, a bundle of palm fibers, and her tools. A few simple sticks, a burnishing stone, and her hands. Always her hands. She kneels, brushing aside a fallen leaf. She takes the first handful of clay from a nearby covered pit. It is cool, damp, heavy. It gives a soft resistance to her fingers. This clay is river clay, dug with care weeks earlier and left to rest in pits lined with leaves. It has been mixed with crushed grog, fragments of broken pots, to strengthen it. She begins by kneading, pressing, folding, pressing again. The movement is slow, rhythmic, like a song without words. Her palms make dull slapping sounds as they press into the yielding earth. The clay must be made ready. There is no rushing this. As she works, the sounds of the village fade into the distance. The pounding of grain, the calls of children, the bleating of goats, they soften, as if wrapped in cotton. In this small world of clay and shade, there is only the vessel yet to be born. Dardia begins with a coil, a thick rope of clay, rolled between her palms. She places it on the base, a disc of smoothed clay pressed into a shallow concavity in the earth. Around and around she winds the coil. She smooths the inner wall with her fingers, merging it into a single surface. Then another coil. And another. The bowl begins to rise. Not with haste, but with care. The sides curve gently outward. She is making a water jar, large-bellied and wide-mouthed. Her fingers are covered in red slip. The clay colors her skin, settles under her nails. She does not mind. From time to time, she dips her fingers into the gourd of water. Just enough moisture to keep the clay pliable. Her tools are few, a thin stick with a rounded tip to press patterns, a smooth pebble to burnish the sides. She does not need more. A child approaches silently and sits a few feet away. It is a girl, perhaps 8 years old, watching intently, legs crossed, eyes wide. She has seen this process many times, but still, it is magic. Dardia does not speak. She does not need to. When the vessel is as high as her hand, she begins to shape the rim. She pinches and smooths, rounds and presses. The lip of the jar flares slightly, a graceful curve. Then she takes the carved stick and presses small geometric patterns around the neck. Triangles, lines, waves. Not for function, but for beauty. Every mark is deliberate. Every pot she makes is different. But each carries her signature, a specific arrangement of dots in a ring near the base. As she finishes, she sets the jar aside under the shade, covered with a damp cloth. It must rest, must dry slowly. Too fast, and it will crack. She begins again. This time a smaller vessel, a wide-mouthed bowl. The sun has risen higher now, and flies buzz lazily in the warm air. She hums to herself. Another child arrives. This one a boy, holding a broken shard. He sits beside her and shows her the piece. She takes it gently, examines the break. She nods. Tomorrow, they will grind it and add it to the next batch of clay. Nothing is wasted. The children stay and watch as she works. Sometimes they help, a coil here, a smoothing there. Dardia does not scold if they err. They are learning. The clay teaches through touch. Later, when the sun is nearly at its peak, she will carry the day's work into her compound. There, under cover, the pots will dry for many days before they meet the fire. But for now, the rhythm continues. Press, roll, smooth, shape. The sound of hands on clay. The silence of intention. The language of the earth, spoken in touch. As midday approaches, Dardia leans back. She wipes her hands on her cloth. Before her, for new vessels. None perfect, but all alive. She smiles. Tomorrow will be the day of fire, but today was for shaping. The clay has yielded, and her hands have spoken. Chapter 3: The Rhythm of the Day. The sun has climbed high in the sky now, Its light is no longer golden, but white and strong, casting short shadows that cling tightly to walls and limbs. In the Nok village, the pace has slowed. Midday is not for work. It is a time for pause, for shade, for stillness. Smoke drifts gently from a few hearths, but most fires are banked now. Women sit beneath awnings of woven reeds and lean to shelters of grass and stick. Children lie on woven mats, drifting between play and rest. Even the animals feel it. The goats lie in shadow, legs folded beneath them. The chickens tuck their heads under wings. It is a soft, suspended hour. Inside one hut, a young mother rocks her baby with the softest movements. Back and forth, back and forth. The child does not cry, only makes small sounds, like a distant bird. The mother hums a melody with no words. It is not meant for performance. It is a thread tying one generation to the next. Outside, in another corner of the village, two boys sit near a log, carving small shapes from discarded gourd shells. Their voices are low. They are not loud, not in this heat. Nearby, an elder leans against the trunk of a tree, chewing slowly on a piece of kola nut. His gaze is fixed on nothing in particular, but in his mind, there are patterns, cycles. He has seen this village breathe for many years. He knows when the rains will come. He knows which plants speak of drought, and which hum with promise. The Nok people do not write their histories in books. They carry them in memory, in gestures, in tools, in songs, in pots. There is knowledge in every gesture, in the way a leaf is torn, in the way millet is washed, in the way the hands move when weaving or grinding, and always, the rhythm continues. In the central clearing, a few women are weaving mats. Long blades of grass are soaked, twisted, and threaded. The mats are not for decoration. They are used for everything, from sleeping to carrying goods to lining cooking areas. The women work quietly, only the soft hiss of grass fibers moving past each other. They work with hands trained from childhood. The pattern is always known. It lives in the fingers. One woman pauses to sip from a gourd of water. She wipes her brow with the back of her wrist and smiles at the child watching her from a distance. The girl inches closer. Without a word, the woman hands her a strand of fiber. The girl holds it carefully, unsure. But the lesson has begun. Elsewhere, in the quiet shade near the edge of the village, someone is grinding ochre. A round stone moves in slow circles over a flat one. The pigment is for body art, for pottery, for ritual. The red powder stains the fingertips. It glows against the dark skin of the grinder. She leans close to her work, careful not to waste. This ochre has been traded from far away, brought by another village through forest paths and hidden routes. It is precious. The grindstone's sound is soft and steady. Another rhythm. And then, the soft thump of footsteps. A group of children returning from the stream. Their gourd vessels are sloshing, balanced expertly on heads. They are laughing now, their voices rising like birds, but still not too loud. The adults are resting. The sun is high. They deliver the water to their homes and quickly slip into the shadows, into the cool interiors of huts or beneath trees. And above all this, the air humming. Not with machines, not with movement, but with life. Insects clicking. Birds chirping. The occasional rustle of a lizard darting into a crack in the wall. This is the rhythm of the Nok village. Not marked by bells or alarms, but by heat and shadow, by the slow tilting of light, by the shared agreement that now is the hour to wait, to breathe, to let the earth turn a little further. Later, the rhythm will change again. There will be tasks to complete, grain to winnow, fish to smoke, pots to fire. But not now. Now is the time in between, the silence between drumbeats. Even the river has slowed. Its waters move almost imperceptibly, mirroring the breath of the land. So let yourself drift with it. Let the rhythm of this day carry you. Let the warmth of the sun and the hush of the shade wrap around you. And listen to the heartbeat of a world that knew stillness, that honored rest. The Nock village breathes in, and so do you. Chapter 4: The Fire Circle. The sun now leans westward. Its light has softened again, no longer harsh, but warm, golden, and slanting. It pours across the village like honey, gilding every surface with a gentle glow. The Nock village slowly begins to stir from its midday hush. A dog yawns and stretches, padding lazily to the outer edge of the compound. Goats rise and shake themselves. The chickens peck with renewed interest. And among the people, too, a quiet energy begins to build. There are tasks to finish before nightfall. One of the most important is the firing of clay. For Dadia the potter, this is the moment of transformation. The days-shaped vessels, some new, others that have been drying for several suns, are now ready for their final trial. Fire. The firing pit is a simple circle of hardened earth, not far from where she shapes her pots beneath the shade tree. It is lined with smooth stones and bits of broken pottery. There is no kill in the modern sense, only technique passed through generations. Dadia walks slowly to the fire circle. In her arms are 3 pots, one large water jar, a smaller cooking vessel, and a bowl with a wide rim. Each has been drying in the shade for many days. She sets them down gently. Then she returns to the compound to gather others. Today she will fire 10 pots. Some are hers. Others belong to women who formed them under her guidance. All carry the touch of the earth. She is not alone. A few helpers, children, an apprentice, and an older woman, gather kindling, dry grass, and cow dung. These materials burn slow and hot, perfect for the firing. The sun dips lower. The sky turns a deeper blue. Birds sweep across it, their shadows flickering over the huts. The fire is built slowly. Dadia arranges the pots upside down, mouths to the earth, their curves nestled close together. Then she places shards around them, protecting them from sudden heat. Over this, the children layer grass and sticks. Then the dung. Then more sticks. The pile grows, becomes a small dome of combustibles. Dadia kneels. She breathes in and strikes the fire. Smoke curls upward, white and sharp. The grass catches first, then the kindling, then the dung. The fire grows. It licks the edges of the pile. It moves inward. The children step back. Their faces glow with fascination and awe. There is no loud crackling, only the slow, consistent whisper of burning. Dadia watches the flame. She knows when to feed it, when to leave it. She watches the color of the smoke, the brightness of the embers. The firing will take hours. She must guard it. As the fire burns down, the mound will collapse. The coals will touch the pots directly. It is then that cracks may form, if the clay is not right, if the pot was not dried, if it was built too thin. But Dadia is not worried. She has done this many times. Around her, the village carries on. Women begin preparing the evening meal. The scent of roasting yams and spiced stew drifts across the air. Men return from the fields or forest, their woven baskets filled with roots, nuts, or game. Children play again, their energy returning with the cool. Their voices rise and fall like the breeze. But near the fire circle, all is focused. Dadia adds a few sticks. The fire responds. A wave of warmth rolls over her skin. She glances at the sky. The first stars blink awake. She murmurs a soft blessing. Not a plea. A thanks. Thanks to the fire for its heat. To the earth for its clay. To the ancestors for their guidance. And she waits. The pots glow faintly now, their curves rimmed with ember light. They are changing. Becoming something new. Soft clay, hardened by flame. Temporary form, made permanent. The process is ancient. Older than any story. Older than memory. And here, in this Nock village, it continues. Not with ceremony. but with care. When the fire has burned low, Dadia will let it rest. By morning, the ashes will be cool, and the pots, if they have survived, will ring with a hollow tone when tapped. That tone will tell her they are strong, ready. They will hold water, hold grain, hold heat, hold stories. She watches the flame, and the flame watches back. The fire breathes, and so does she. The last embers in the fire circle glow softly, barely visible now beneath a layer of cooling ash. The earth is warm there, the stones faintly radiating the memory of flame. Dadia has gone to rest. Her pots will greet her in the morning, whispering whether they survived the dance with fire. Above the village, the stars have blossomed. 1,000 lanterns in the ink of night. They scatter across the sky with delicate precision. The air is cooler now, calmer. Everything is softer by starlight. Huts glow with dim oil lamps or not at all. The flicker of a small flame behind woven walls casts dancing shadows of movement and stillness, of parents rocking infants, of lovers speaking low, of elders resting their eyes. In the open space at the village center, a circle begins to form. Not a meeting of urgency, not a place of planning or decree, but a gathering of presence, of shared breath and ancestral rhythm. This is the fire circle's twin, a place of stories. The fire here is small. It crackles gently, its light golden and low. Children settle first, sprawling on mats or curling against a sibling or cousin. Their eyes are wide, not from wakefulness, but from the special softness of night. Adults gather behind them, cross-legged, some humming quietly. The older women carry their weaving. Even at night, their fingers do not forget. The men lean against the carved posts that support the meeting shelter, half listening, half dreaming. An elder clears his throat, not to speak loudly, but to begin. His voice is sanded smooth by time. He tells of the hornbill and the tortoise, of how the rivers were named, of how the sky and earth once argued until the trees made peace between them. The stories are not lessons, though lessons live in them. They are not histories, though they hold the past like a bowl. They are invitations. Invitations to imagine, to remember, to belong. The children listen until their eyes close. Then they listen still. The fire pops. Sparks rise. The night breathes. And overhead, the stars continue their slow drift. Elsewhere in the village, lovers speak softly beneath the shade tree. Their words are not recorded. They do not need to be. A mother feeds her baby in the dark. Her skin against the child's is the only warmth they need. An old man traces the pattern on a broken pot. He remembers the hands that shaped it. He remembers when those hands were young. And slowly, the village sleeps. Some on mats, some in hammocks, some curled beside fires, some beneath the open sky. The dogs sleep, ears twitching at every sound. The goats murmur in their sleep. A cricket begins its song, a solitary, steady rhythm in the quiet. This is the Nok village by night. Not silent, not still, but slow, deep. Here, rest is not a pause. It is a presence, a place of its own. Even the tools sleep. The pestle leans against the mortar. The woven basket waits by the door. The newly fired pots rest in their ash beds, cooling, curing, becoming. The village exhales. So do you. Let the hush of this Nok night cradle your thoughts. Let the stories echo gently. Let the stars above the huts shine in your mind's sky. And remember, the rhythm of hands in clay, the rhythm of sun and shadow, the rhythm of breath and rest and belonging. You are not a visitor here. You are part of this rhythm too. You sleep now, under the same stars, beneath the moon, beneath the stars. As the Nok village sleeps, so may you. Chapter 5. the dreaming earth. The hours pass gently in the Knock village, each moment folding into the next like soft cloth laid carefully into a basket. Midnight has long arrived, yet the pulse of life continues, quiet, unhurried, steady. Though sleep blankets the village, not every mind is still. Even in dreams, there is movement, a drifting, a listening. The Knock people believe the earth dreams too. Not in the way people do, with stories and faces, but in a deeper, slower rhythm. A memory older than breath. A song older than time. Beneath the cool night sky, the huts huddle like rounded stones shaped by the same wind that rustles the grasses. Thatched roofs glisten faintly with dew. Clay walls exhale the heat they've absorbed from the sun, releasing it slowly back into the darkness. A dog stretches in its sleep, tail flicking. A hen murmurs softly under her wing. Within each household, dreams unfold. Some vivid and full of motion. Others more like mist, formless and quiet. A grandmother smiles faintly in her sleep, recalling a festival from many seasons ago. A child turns on her mat, dreaming of climbing the baobab tree that shades the village square. A boy mumbles, lost in the imaginary hunt of an antelope that always outruns him, but never fully escapes. Outside, the world is in its own dream. The trees seem to lean closer to one another in the dark, their leaves whispering secrets in a language too old for words. Crickets chirp in a rhythmic chorus, their calls overlapping like woven fibers in a mat. A lone owl shifts on a branch, its feathers rustling like paper. Beyond the huts, fields of millet and sorghum lie in repose. Stalks bend slightly under the weight of dew, silvered by starlight. The soil breathes. You can almost hear it, if you listen closely, the gentle hum of roots drinking deep, of life invisible and enduring. Elders say the earth remembers everything. Every footstep taken, every pot broken, every song sung beneath the sky. They say the ground holds these things not in sorrow or silence, but in patience. It listens, absorbs, and offers back. And tonight, the earth is whispering back. Near the river's bend, the frogs begin their steady rhythm. A pulsing lullaby. The water moves slowly now, barely more than a murmur. It glides around smooth stones and fallen leaves, the current carrying with it stories from upstream. In this hour, the river becomes a storyteller too. It tells of elephants bathing far away, spraying mud and water into the hot afternoon air. It tells of crocodiles resting in silence, still as driftwood. It tells of children who came to its banks at dusk, skipping stones, laughing, washing clay from their elbows. The wind carries these sounds, these memories, into the village. They slip beneath doors woven from grass and reed. They brush across sleeping faces. They enter dreams. Now and then, someone wakes. Not with alarm, but with a soft, sudden awareness. Like remembering a name half forgotten. An old man rises from his mat and steps outside. The cool earth welcomes his bare feet. He looks up. The sky is a basin of stars. Still, endless. He knows the constellations by their old names. Not lion or hunter, but gourd, calabash, firestick. They turn slowly through the heavens, just as they always have. He nods to the stars, not in reverence, but in recognition. Like greeting a friend passing by in the street. He breathes deeply, filling his lungs with the sharp sweetness of night air. Then he returns inside, and sleeps again. This rhythm, this gentle echo of waking and resting, is not unique to humans. The goats in their pen shift softly, one nudging another. A dog twitches in its dreams, paws paddling against imagined earth. Even the tools sleep. The pestle leans against the mortar. The weaver's loom stands still. The newly fired pots, still warm from the afternoon's blaze, sit silently under ash blankets. They too have done their work. They too deserve rest. In some homes, the soft creak of wood can be heard. Perhaps a young woman turns on her mat. Perhaps a child murmurs. But these sounds don't disturb the night. They are part of it. As much a part as the wind, or the distant rustle of grass. The Nok believe that the night is sacred. Not because it is dark, but because it is full. Full of things unseen. Full of life that does not require the sun to bloom. In the dark, one can listen more clearly. The noise of daily life falls away, and what's left is the pure hum of being. This is the dreaming earth. This is the deep rhythm of life that continues, even when the eyes are closed. And so, we too listen. Let your breath become the breeze. Let your heartbeat align with the hoot of the owl, the call of the frog, the rustle of the tree. Let yourself drift. Beyond the clay walls. Beyond the village. Beyond even the stars. For in this moment, you are not apart from Nok. You are within it. Carried by it. Rest now. The earth is dreaming. And so are you. Chapter 6. Morning once more. In the hush before dawn, the village is wrapped in a gentle stillness. The kind of silence that isn't empty, but full, pregnant with possibility. It is the pause before breath, the stretch of quiet between the final notes of a lullaby and the first chords of a morning song. The sky, so recently blanketed with stars, now carries the faintest suggestion of color. Not quite light, just a thinning of darkness along the eastern horizon. The stars, those old watchers, begin to retreat one by one. Not vanishing, but dimming. Bowing quietly before the return of day. It is the hour of almost. Almost dawn. Almost movement. Almost sound. And then, as if on cue, the soft, distant call of a rooster slips through the mist. He does not crow loudly. There is no urgency in his voice. It is more of an announcement than an alarm. The day is coming, he says. Whenever you are ready. Other birds stir. A whir of wings, the clearing of small throats. Leaves rustle faintly as wind shifts direction. The baobab's wide trunk glows slightly in the lightening sky, like a candle just before it's lit. And from within the huts, there is movement. Not all at once. The village doesn't wake with a single voice, but as a chorus joining gradually. A baby shifts in her mother's arms. An old man clears his throat softly, then sighs. Cloth rustles as someone wraps themselves for the cool air. In the potter's home, Dardia opens her eyes. She lies still for a moment, listening. The breath of the world is slow and deep, like a drumbeat softened by distance. She stretches, limbs long and deliberate, like a tree easing itself upward. Then, with practiced ease, she rises and steps onto the cool floor. The fire has faded into soft ash, still warm beneath her fingers. She stirs it gently, coaxing new flame from buried embers. The scent of wood smoke and earth fills the hut. Outside, the first real light has begun to unfold. The horizon blushes, a soft wash of apricot and rose, brushed across the canvas of dawn. The air smells of damp leaves, of soot, of soil still curled in sleep. One by one, families greet the morning. Some wash their faces with cool water from clay pots. Some sweep the ground around their homes, brushing away dust and fallen leaves. Some simply sit in silence, facing the east, watching the day arrive. There is no rush. The sun will rise whether or not they are ready, and so they meet it slowly, as one would meet an old friend. Children begin to stir, yawning and blinking. They step barefoot onto the earth, stretching small limbs skyward. A toddler laughs at the sight of dew sparkling on the grass, chasing it like fireflies. The goats murmur softly in their pens, stamping tiny hooves. A dog wanders lazily through the village, tail wagging. From her place near the fire, Dardia tends to her pots. She uncovers each vessel slowly, reverently. The ash falls away like snow, revealing the hardened clay beneath. She lifts each pot, one at a time, tapping it lightly with her knuckle. A deep, mellow ring answers. Not just sound, but music. A song of earth transformed. She smiles, not with pride, but with a quiet sense of fulfillment. The kind that comes not from acclaim, but from knowing something has been done well. That nothing was rushed. That every movement, from shaping to firing, was in harmony with the rhythm of life. The pots are beautiful in their simplicity, round and smooth. Their surfaces textured with gentle ridges where her fingers worked the clay. Some are small and wide, meant to hold oil. Others tall and slender, for water. A few bear hand-carved marks, lines and dots that tell silent stories. She lines them up carefully along the side of the hut, letting the morning sun warm them fully. Nearby, another woman begins to grind millet. She sings quietly as she works, voice rising and falling in a melody older than speech. The sound wraps around the village like a shawl. And so, the rhythm of day begins. Not hurried. Not driven by clocks or alarms, but guided by the returning sun, by the hunger of children, by the needs of animals, by the steady call of work waiting to be done. Men move toward the fields, carrying hoes and baskets. Some women begin weaving, pulling fibers between their fingers, working in time with breath. Others tend the fire, prepare food, fetch water. And all around them, the village breathes together. There is talk, yes, but also quiet. There is movement, yes, but also stillness. Even in the heart of activity, the knockway of life holds space for silence. For watching the way smoke curls into the sky. For noticing the sound of wind in the grass. For feeling the weight of a gourd in the hand. And for Dadia, there is always the clay. Later, when the sun has risen high and the shadows shrink beneath the huts, she will return to her circle of earth. She will kneel. Sprinkle water onto dry clay. Roll it, press it, shape it. Her fingers will remember what they've done 1,000 times. Her palms will coax curves into being. And once again, the story will begin. Not one of conquest or glory, but of care, of rhythm, of stillness. A pot is not just a vessel. It is a cradle for water, for grain, for flame. It is a companion in daily life. It listens. It holds. And so too does the village. The huts hold families. The earth holds footsteps. The people hold each other. From dusk to dawn, and dusk again. From season to season. From dream to waking. This, too, is a kind of history. A history that doesn't live in scrolls or monuments, but in the cadence of ordinary days. It is etched not with chisels, but with fingers slick with clay, pressing gently into earth. It is passed down not through battles or conquests, but through quiet repetition, of tending the fire, of molding the pot, of listening to the wind and learning when the rains will come. It is the memory of hands shaping the same form their mothers shaped. It is the ritual of sweeping the same courtyard each dawn, watching the same shadows grow shorter with each sunrise. This history lives in the hush between chores, in the pauses between words, in the songs sung under one's breath while grinding grain or combing a daughter's hair. It breathes through the patient crackle of firewood, where generations have sat and stirred and mended. It weaves itself into the grain of mats laid out beneath starlit skies, mats that hold the weight of bodies resting, storytelling, dreaming. It clings to the rhythm of pestle and mortar. It echoes in the distant laughter of children running between huts, kicking up dust from paths worn smooth by many feet. This is not the history of kings and armies. This is the history of touch, of sound, of slow, enduring presence. This is the lineage of stillness, passed from breath to breath, from grandmother to child, from one quiet sunrise to the next. And now, as the sun rises fully, casting golden light across the hills and warming the dew into mist, you, listener, have become a part of it. Perhaps you closed your eyes and let the story carry you. Perhaps you floated in and out, letting your thoughts ripple like water. Perhaps you walked beside us the entire way, hearing every footstep, watching every bowl take shape. It does not matter how you arrived. It matters only that you did. You have been here. In this moment. In this village. You have stood beneath the baobab tree, felt its bark under your palm. You have crouched beside Dadia's fire, watching flames curl around her pots. You have listened to the frogs by the river, to the wind in the millet, to the stillness that holds it all. You have seen the world not in haste, but in hush. Not in urgency, but in rhythm. Now, you carry this with you. This quiet. This knock morning. It settles around your shoulders like a shawl. It lingers in your breath, in the pause before you speak, in the softness of your next step. And wherever you are, whether night has deepened or dawn has begun, know that somewhere, just beyond time, the day is beginning just like this. Slowly. Gently. The fire is crackling. The clay is soft in skilled hands. The stars are fading. And the earth remembers.